Most Australians wouldn't have visited Kurnell on the southern side of Botany Bay in Sydney. But there in that small cove at the end of the beach, 250 years ago today, our land was changed forever, as two cultures met for the very first time. Captain James Cook, a lieutenant at the time, anchored the Endeavour in the bay and went ashore on the 29th of April 1770, where he met the Gweagal people of the Dharawal nation. Now, it was an uneasy encounter. There was much confusion and very little understanding, so they kept their distance. Cook stayed a week. They surveyed the bay, and with botanists Spank and Solander, they took some plant samples and other specimens and completed charts of the area, and went on to complete another of the world's great navigational and charting achievements by Cook along the east coast of Australia. It was the stuff of legend. The local Gweagal people were surely puzzled and certainly threatened by Cook's presence, but after he left, they would have gone back to their peaceful life that they'd been living on that land for tens of thousands of years. The visit, though, proved to be of great significance. Almost 20 years later, 12 ships arrived in that very same bay, the First Fleet. And soon after, they moved up to Farm Cove, a short sail away, and the rest, of course, is history. Cook's arrival on the Endeavour marked a significant turning point, a time that ultimately led to the country we know today. While he wore a uniform, Cook was above all else a scientist and an ambassador for the better intentions of the Enlightenment age, seeking to understand the world he lived in and the peoples he encountered. Now, he didn't always get it right, certainly by today's standards, but in his day, he was well ahead of his time. His journey was one of scientific exploration, but we know that for others, in particular our indigenous Australians, the legacy of his voyage indeed resulted in their loss of country, language and culture. Now, we can't rewrite our history, and nor should we try. But it must be told honestly and sensitively, and nor should we disown our history. There are great achievements that we must honour in our national story, but in humility we should also appreciate the faults and the humanity of those who feature in our great stories, so we learn the lessons and perhaps appreciate our own vulnerabilities in our own time. So today, we do honour a great explorer, perhaps the greatest, who visited our shores, and indeed my own electorate 250 years ago in the Shire, never to return. But we also reflect on the impact and subsequent loss of those he met on that day, our Indigenous Australians, and honour their resilience and the enduring majesty of their culture that inspires and lives to this very day. For me, Kurnell is a place of reconciliation, a place to tell stories of that reconciliation and of its history, to reflect on it honestly and the shared story of Australia. For this reason, new artistic installations have now been placed on the landing site at Kurnell to commemorate the 250th anniversary of this meeting of two cultures. These installations will be followed by new educational, tourist and exhibition facilities at the site that will help share our stories with young people, with visitors from our local community to visitors from all around the world. The new installations capture the view from the ship and from the shore, while celebrating the Dharawal's majestic dreaming figure of the whale. The combination of the whale ribs and the formation of the ship's hull brings these two powerful images together on the site, just adjacent to the monument marking Cook's Landing that was erected many, many years ago. Once we pass this COVID-19 period of isolation, I'd encourage you to go out there and take a look. It had been our intention today to be together at that site, as I do each year, to commemorate this event with my local community in the annual meeting of Two Cultures ceremony. It's a special time, but there'll be a time to do this another day. For now, though, on this important day in Australia's history, as we commemorate the 250th anniversary, we do honour the resilience, the wisdom, custodianship and stewardship of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. And we also acknowledge, though, the extraordinary passion of James Cook for science, and discovery, and the critical role he played in Australia's journey to the nation we are today, a nation we all celebrate with a sense of great pride in what we have achieved, but with a renewed commitment on this day to continue the journey of reconciliation so critical to our future.
Authorised by S. Morrison, Liberal Party, Canberra.